Okay. All right, thank you for the May 8th meeting, and we all rise for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll call Joe Bailey here. Okay, Selectman Hotchkiss is at another appointment for tonight, along with a few other people. So, signature action, as always, minutes from the Board of Selectmen for 5/1/2017. Motion to accept as written. You do. All in favor? Aye. Cool. All right, we'll move right into the department heads and old business. Tax collector.
I gave Laura the deed list that we have.
Okay.
I've called one on there and they're we're not aware of a certain situation, so
That's your.
it's noted and everything. May 20th is gonna be the rabies coming up, 9 to 12, I'll be open. Changing hours, May 15th.
Okay.
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 9 to 5, and Wednesday, 9 to 3. And then, last Saturday of the month, 9 to 12.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Very good.
Is there, you said there's class starting next week, Laura?
Oh, yes.
Play, Kathy, I mean.
Sorry, no, it's, gonna be going to class May 16th for a new tax collector to get up to par with everything. And we also, me and Laura and Nora are gonna be going to, New Hampshire Fish and Game classes the same day. We're gonna be starting doing hunting, fishing licenses, and ORHB licenses with snowmobiles. So, yep. A lot of new
It's gonna
changes.
be a full-service department.
We're gonna be a full-service department,
And
correct?
there should be, training will be you,
Laura and Nora, yep.
Okay.
Did I get the hours right? Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 9 to 5, Wednesday, 9 to 3?
Yep, and then last Saturday of the month,
Last, what are the hours on Saturday?
9 to 12.
Alright, cool. Unfortunately. Alright. Alright, that's good.
Here's
Yeah.
your monthly reports.
How much are we taking for the month? $4,690.54.
Wow.
That's above beyond the taxes. So. That's cool. So basically, it breaks it down to where we get to this cover sheet, so. Yeah. So Comstar cut income is $3,200.
Could be, yep.
Yeah.
We'll go right into the ambulance fund, so that's all good stuff, so. All right, let's go into assessing.
I have your tax warrant for the first half of 2017.
Okay.
But
Chair, if you want.
get your John Hancock on a couple of things. You have to
Oh, no way.
sign and notarize the oath. It just says you believe, to the best of your belief, that you've inventoried your property and everything is appraised to its full value, to the best of your knowledge.
So this says 2W2.
Oh, shoot. Got to change that. Dang it. Alright, I'll have to fix that.
Well, it's on the top one, but the second one we won't till you change it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll go upstairs and fix that, sorry about that. I'm worrying about something else and I missed that one.
Sorry.
Alright, I'm gonna have to fix that,
Alright.
sorry about
No,
that.
that's no problem, because John's not getting, he has to sign anything else, so. Right. All right, let's go on to the cemetery. Roger. Anything? I know we paid a bill for $1,200 today.
Did
It's in Wakefield
Yeah,
Cemetery.
that was that one for the young lady that passed away.
Okay.
No, that's your annual, is what he's
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, okay, all right, yep.
So,
Yeah, and hopefully next week we'll get together with John and get that thing squared away for the cemetery. Get our bylaws all done, and then we'll start searching. Yeah. We got places, it's just,
Yeah. Do you have a date already for?
why, next week? You need one?
No, I just didn't know if you have one.
I thought maybe next Thursday, about 11 o'clock or something like that.
I mean, I'm open, whatever anybody else wants to do.
Yeah, yeah. We just gotta get the preacher.
Okay. All right, we got something from the police department?
Yep,
We can read it into it.
here you go.
Read it, you want, John? You want to read it?
Sure.
Personnel, Chief of Police 1, Lieutenant 1, Sergeant 1, Patrolman 1, full-time. Part-time seasonal patrolman 7, ACO officer 1, Police Secretary 1. And then the equipment, which is a Crown Victoria, Ford Explorer, Ford Taurus, Ford utility truck, and a Dodge Charger with the mileage. And activity log for the month: calls for service 37, 5 arrests, 47 motor vehicle stops, 6 summons issued, 2 motor vehicle accidents, and 1 animal control call-outs. Busy for Middleton.
Okay. It's not bad. Considering calls for service year-to-date, 199. Arrests have been 12.
How many for the year of calls?
Call for service, 199. Arrests, they had 12 for the year. Motor vehicle stops, 169, probably all Wade Bartlett.
Yeah, so 4 months, 200 calls.
So. Summonses, 19. Accidents, 7. And animal calls, again, is 1, so it's not bad. I mean, animal control's been a good deal, I guess, so.
There used to be a lot of those.
Yeah, it was a lot of, a real lot of it, so.
What did we pick up Lieutenant, Joe?
They promoted a sergeant to a lieutenant. No pay increase with it, it's just a. So, and we had one the young lady downstairs who was her officer was.
Franklin or something.
They made her a detective because she had that same title over in Franklin, the same amount of money, there's no increase in pay. So, just title change only, basically.
So how about our new lawyer, is he still moving?
Women's Warriors should be starting back to work on Wednesday. You all set?
Got it this time. Sorry, Kathleen.
Oh, please don't worry about it. I still have stuff that goes on it.
Fix that.
I'm so, I know, right? Give me a black eye. Okay.
Great, there's that.
Okay, we're good to go.
So do we have anything from the fire department?
Yep, have an email.
I know, that's why I want to go sit somewhere else.
This is from Chief Lawrence from the fire department. His report reads, myself and firefighter Caleri have finished EMR class and look to take in the national registry as soon as possible. We will be looking to purchase a portable generator for the mobile command center and finish the lighting and a couple of other things for storage and wiring. I will be in touch with Coyote Creek and possibly carry a training post for 2 GPS units. John Merrill, the sales rep for IPS, will be at the station on May 16th to show 2 SCBA units that are going to be available to the fire department to find out which model we're going to choose from. Signed, Chief Lawrence.
Cool. Good.
Question for John.
Yes.
The GPS unit they're looking for, they look for the handheld kind of.
Yes, I believe these are the ones that are going to be for the wireless to know where one group of people will be, where the other group of people will be, so, absolutely.
You wanna talk about planning board, Roger?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we are meeting
This Thursday?
this Thursday, okay? When we're there, we're gonna discuss about doing the CIP. John said that he would be more than happy to sit down one weekend and knock that thing out, because it's pretty much all, he said if we could do that, you know, one day on a weekend, we can just knock that. So we'll come up with something and confirm that, so I can get it to John, so we can sit there and get it all done. And if people ain't got the stuff in for the CIP, we're just gonna put in there.
What information we have and move on with it.
That's right.
It's been how many years now?
Yeah. We gotta get something going.
September,
Yeah.
we requested.
So that's the big thing, and she hasn't told me that there's much going on for Thursday night, but we'll see what's going on.
Okay.
Okay?
Who do you need CIP stuff from? Because we can
I
send
think
out
the
another,
I think you guys have given us.
I have no idea.
Yes, we have. The only thing, I think the only thing that was missing was the request from the school department.
Yeah, the school, that's what it was.
So,
The
okay,
SAU
so it's no
wishes
just
that-
town department that
No,
I can
no,
send
town
a lean
departments
on?
will all
Okay.
give us information 4 or 5
I
times.
don't have that young lady's name, so you get a hold of her and let her know. The one that does.
She was here today,
Oh, she-
yeah. We can call her again.
Yeah, I can't
For
think of it.
Thursday.
Yeah. But if you can think of it, could you just tell her Thursday?
I'll email Amy.
Huh?
I'll email Amy.
Yeah.
I think
just-
Amy's been talking to this girl, that's why.
Oh, okay.
I just don't wanna get involved if I don't have to,
Yeah, yeah.
because
if
they
you
can already be talking.
Yeah, just email Amy.
Okay.
Thank you. And then I gotta get her number that way there.
Do we have a treasury report? Treasurer's report.
No. Bank statement just came in today, so.
What about welfare?
Well, I can tell you that I'm on budget to 20% only. Yeah, I'm at 20% of my budget so far, that's it. I've had 3 requests this past month, but none of the paperwork has come back, so I'm assuming people are. It's slow time though, because it's not winter, do you know what I mean? So, not too bad.
Well, nobody here from conservation, nobody here from code enforcement, no one from highway. No one
That's
from zoning.
surprising. Eddie was supposed to be here,
Okay, well,
they had stuff. I don't know.
okay, I guess we covered just about everything anyhow without knowing anything else, so. You can't speak to EMS, can you? Anybody?
We're on call 47, we've completed 47 calls.
And that's year to date?
Yeah.
Since January 1st,
Mm-hmm.
47 calls, wow.
10 a month. 10.3.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were out at 3:30 the other morning. Yeah, so most of them, for some reason, are in the middle of the night. Not sure why, but
All right, so I guess we'll just move on from department. I do know that the new machine that we purchased, whatever, that little excavator there, the wheels on it, I don't used to call it a great all, but
Just a rubber tire excavator.
Yeah.
that's all it is, really?
Yeah.
I think I said we used to call it a great all, but
Yeah,
that used to be a name on it, called a great all.
right,
I don't know,
yeah.
we used to work on them, so. But basically, they done the lettering on that and got that all, so it says Middleton Highway Department on it, so that's done, so. I know we just signed the check for that night, so. Usually I know that, so. But, all right, so let's just move out of this, out of old business, we'll go into new business about pickup concerns. This past week
I didn't bring the
has been a real big challenge for both waste management in the town, okay? And we know for a fact, I'm not gonna say names, as I said, we do know for a fact, basically, that we've had a lot of outside resources dropping off their trash for bulk pickup here in Middleton. We advertise it pretty heavily for the people that know to get ready for it, and at least the rest of the world knows about it too, and they like to take advantage of it. So, basically, in conversations with waste management, between Laura and the people down there that schedule all this stuff like that, we had probably 35 tons of excess over last year in bulk pickup. I know there's one place, I know, again, say names, but I know one place that had over 7 mattresses, and there's only 2 elderly people living there. So where's all the stuff coming? There's this apparently the friends and family planning going on. So basically what we're looking to do, and we haven't made any decisions, it's gonna be open for discussion, that I know in other towns, I saw it myself just the other day in Madbury, bulk pickup. There's like 7 mattresses out there and they had a 5-piece sectional. And they had 4-inch stickers on them. So these people had to pay the town of Madbury for the sticker, and the sticker was posted on those items, and that way Waste Management knows it's all taken care of, go ahead and pick it up. Okay?
What happens though, Joe, if it doesn't have a sticker on it?
Don't get picked up?
Well, right, but I mean, so then it's up to the person who lives in the home? I'm just because I'm just saying, if some elderly person has somebody put something out in front of their house, I mean, that's, okay.
It will be prearranged, it can be picked up any Tuesday.
Right.
For the whole year,
Oh, okay.
not just
Okay.
twice a year.
So you can come in at any time during the week and pick up a sticker of something that you want to have picked up?
So would we
And
still
then-
have the bulk pickup though?
No.
Oh, okay,
We can do
well
away
then,
with it.
yeah, so no, so yeah, I would, yeah, then I
So
think
what's,
that's-
because there's definitely been some dumping.
Yeah.
I got some pictures
And-
that are
and-
just,
and-
and I saw it myself, I went by a house Tuesday night, because I got a lot of complaints, so I drove around town. I looked at a couple houses that I knew there was nobody in, like I know.
Right, yeah,
And then by Thursday morning, there was mounds, and
yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
Down on Douglas Road, they got that new building, nobody even living there. They had like 8 bags of garbage out there, that's construction material, that's not part of bulk pickup.
but I mean, something like that, what are you gonna do? If they leave it there with no stickers on it,
Someone's fine.
then the highway department's gonna have to go pick it up and we're gonna have to get rid of it.
No, but I
anyway.
mean,
The homeowner.
what they're saying now is they're not gonna be a bulk pickup, so it would be you have to go
Oh.
up and get a
So
sticker.
you buy the sticker on, say tomorrow is trash day, okay?
Right.
You could come in today, buy a sticker from Laura, it's gonna have a certain amount for certain types of items, okay? And we gotta figure that part out. You buy the sticker, you take, say some mattress, you drag it outside the building, the road, you put that sticker on it, and Waste Management will take it, no questions asked.
But I guess my only question is, right now, once a year, I don't pay anything.
Yes, you do.
but you're paying for everybody else's.
Well, I
Pay
understand, but I
taxes.
pay $8,000 a year in taxes
Right.
now.
But the money, so,
And if
yeah,
I
but
Right,
wanna-
but they're saying that it'll go down because,
They'll eliminate that line on the budget for taxes.
right. Right.
Because you're paying as you go, you pay through taxes. But what's gonna,
The only thing I get is my garbage picked up.
yeah,
I don't get my road plowed, I don't,
so
I
say
mean-
you have to pay $20 to get rid of a couch, I'm just throwing a number out there.
Yeah.
So you're gonna come in and buy a $20 ticket, but that $20 that I'm gonna take in is gonna go offset our $148,000 that we're paying. But it'll eliminate 75% of our bulk, is what Waste Management's telling us, because he doesn't believe that that's coming from Middleton. 75% quoted from him.
it's a lot of, we're paying for
Yeah.
a lot of, we're paying as taxpayers, a lot of extra money in taxes for other people dump their trash here.
Oh, I
It's
agree,
foolish.
that's what's happening.
yeah, I agree too.
So, I mean, we gotta work hard at getting that number down, and if that's one way of doing it, then, okay. I can tell you, after this past week, the amount of trash and stuff I seen out there,
Oh,
there
yeah.
can be a whole lot left over for bulk pickup.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I mean, it's amazing how much is out there. But
There's probably gonna be a little bit of people misunderstanding.
Mhm.
I will try my best periodically, not just a one-time deal, but in the Granite Press, to try and educate people that this will eliminate the tax line, that instead of us paying for some other town's refuse,
Yeah.
it'll be an individual thing. You'll still pay for your trash pickup, but you'll be only paying for yours, not,
you know, you have some people in this town who have nothing out there other than regular trash for pickup last week. But they're paying for
I
everybody
haven't
else's
put
stuff.
anything out there in probably
Yeah,
Well, this week we did.
years.
yeah.
This week we did.
We'll always have a trash line item
Yeah.
that we pay,
but the bulk,
but, I mean, the bulk item line of what the town pays twice a year is huge.
It'll have to go down, there's no other.
So what we're gonna,
I
the
agree, I mean.
If it doesn't have
So
a
what we're
sticker,
going
it's
to
not
do-
picked up, then
Right, so what we're gonna do is basically, we're not making a decision tonight, we're just letting people know this is what we're looking at doing. We're gonna reach out to other towns to see what their rates are for what they do and how they classify it for pickup. And just figure out what would be the best for us here, okay? And then, not this meeting, but the last meeting of the month would be the 26th, right, yeah, the 26th. we'll make a decision at that point what we're gonna do.
And then as a
And
town,
advertise it.
Let me ask you, did anybody get caught?
No.
No.
Well,
No.
it's hard to do it in the middle of the night.
Like, can't imagine if the cops are out there on patrol, you see somebody putting something out in front of some place where nobody
Well,
lives.
they see a cop, they keep
You
on
might
driving
have
away.
a chance
But
at
like
it.
some places, somebody did live, but if you don't know that they're not there anymore. Cause I witnessed somebody, but I wasn't gonna stop and confront some guy at, 7 AM and go, excuse me.
I would've.
But I don't know
Well,
if
that's
he's
you,
family.
I mean,
How do I know if he's not family of the loved person that was, I don't know that. But I can tell you that I watched somebody empty their truck. And I'm like,
Right, you had an
Yeah.
idea where it might happen, and good police work, Laura.
but I wasn't gonna stop and go, excuse me.
Congratulations.
there
Put
was
your
one
trash
house
back in your
there was
truck.
one house with 5 kitchenettes, 5 dining room tables.
Oh, I saw it,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was a little camp
I
that
was
probably
here
has 3
when
rooms
we were
total.
complaining about this the last time,
Get a
and
photographic license plate.
well, it's out of control.
This would be an internal thing, not something that has to be brought up. This is the
Right.
selectman's decision.
We'll just figure out what the next course will be and
you guys
implement
picking
it,
up some
make it go
trash
forward.
and some,
And we'll have all the stuff, so people
Spots,
wanna do,
I'd
they can
say.
come start and get it, and we'll have an effective date
Yeah,
of such.
reports,
It'll be
man.
before the next bulk pickup that was supposed to be this fall, so,
Good deal.
so.
Thank you.
It's better for everybody in town, because
Something back there.
you got something you don't have to hang on to, you can just.
Dented that.
And every Tuesday, as long as you're out there before they come by, and it's got the decal on it, you're ready to go. No, I got to take it, no problem. So,
And that's what they recommend, and also for the town, it will help us negotiate as far as
Yeah.
cheaper rates for the next 3 years,
Yeah.
2 years.
Just out of curiosity though, they bring the trash truck around for regular pickup. How are they gonna deal with the second truck for bulk pickup?
Same truck.
Same
I'm
truck,
sure they'll
yeah.
use the same exact truck. As long as they know about it ahead of time, our couch isn't going to fill up a truck.
I mean, I can't imagine that we're all gonna put out a mattress every week, you know what I mean? It's gonna be so sporadic.
Yeah.
And if they're cutting it by 75%, it's gonna be less than
Oh, absolutely.
bulk, you know what I mean? Like mounds of
I
it,
think
you'll
I'm-
have a hero 1 week or.
Other than running the highway department, police department, the town, getting the government and stuff like that, that's probably the single biggest line that we have, that we pay in out of the school. So, I mean, it's a lot of money.
Well, on the subject of items like that, I understand that the town office here has some electronic equipment that needs to be disposed of that's, you have upstairs or something like that?
I took them to Staples
All
for
of
Earth Day.
Yeah, okay.
I got rid of them when you told me I could for free. I'm like, all right, done. I recycled them.
Hello, John.
Even fax machines, everything I could reach up there, I took.
Okay.
Went to good.
We're in the new business, I'm gonna go back to Ed here for the highway, and then we can come back to the bulk pickup again. So,
Hi, Ed.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. One of these.
I don't see you guys.
Read this one. That's for you guys. We got quite a few things on the list right now. Rule sweeping should be here sometime towards the end of the month. Do the sweeping around the lakelands and a number of other roads. Stratford County, House of Corrections should be doing roadside cleanup maybe the following week.
The sweeping, is that the same, or different than what you do with the sweeper for the payloader?
Different. We do, some of the longer roads. We don't get in around the Lakelands area,
Okay,
Nicola area, Pinkham area, mainly because of the dust that's gonna be created.
good.
So we'll let somebody with something that can pick it up,
All right,
handle that. Where we got room to push it off the road, we'll do it with our own machine.
good.
That's basically been the way we've been doing it right along. And again, Stratford County will be in to do the roadside cleanup as well shortly thereafter. You'll see a proposal in there from 2-Way Communications. It's for a radio for the excavator. And another one is for just a tune-up, general tune-up to all the radios that we have. Seems like we're having issues with a couple of the radios reaching out any distance. might be antenna issues or something. For the tune-up, that bill is gonna be $800,
For how many radios?
all of them. They'll do all that we have.
Is that 5, 6, 7?
Uh,
The base station?
You got 4 trucks, 5, 6 trucks, loader, grader, backhoe. So I think 7 altogether.
8. Okay, does that include the base?
That'll do our base too. And I think, do you have one of our radios? No. You do have a radio of ours over here?
Yep.
So we'll just make sure that that one gets done as well.
Speaking of radios, at some point I have to talk to you about some sort of radio license that might pertain to your equipment.
Maybe, I don't know.
We'll talk sometime.
But, the other thing is getting a radio in the excavator. That bill came to $1,400. And we've had them price it out 2 different ways, whether we got the mobile radio in the machine or a portable radio, handheld. And basically at $1,400 and $1,409, for an extra $175, we can get 3 portables, which would be handy when we're in the streets. That way whoever we got out there flagging can also communicate directly with people in the equipment.
So, if you take the extra $150, say it's $1,600 for the 3 portables, right?
$1,575.
Okay. Does that mean you can take some of that bill off for fixing some of those ones there off that $800? You don't need them?
No, that'd be above and beyond.
Okay.
Because
So you're
as
going
it is
from-
now, we have to get a radio in that excavator somehow.
Okay.
Whether we do it with a portable or put a mobile unit in there. And the mobile unit's kind of pricey because there's really no place to put the radio where it's handy. So we have to mount the radio somewhere, it's gonna be kind of out of the way, and then like a remote display to be able to use it.
So, instead of putting a mobile one in there, why could you not just buy a portable?
We can either go with a portable or, like I said, for another $175, we can get 3 of them, which would be very handy as far as working with flags.
One won't be strong enough?
It's basically comparable to the mobile unit. A lot of times we don't need to reach out that far when we're in that excavator. Usually there'll be a truck and other people around anyways.
Yeah.
You're saying an additional 175 versus the 1409.
The extra 175 on top of the 14 would give us 3 portables.
And then the other 2 portables would be backup?
Backup, or if we're flagging, have people flagging in the road, they can actually have a radio that can communicate with us in the equipment.
Just dawned on me. Little brain freeze going on. The units you have in service are all mobile units now, they're nothing
Correct.
portable. Okay.
Correct. We don't have any portables.
What's in the budget for your equipment line? You have any idea?
I'm not sure what the exact amount is, but I do know whatever I come up with tonight, we do have the money in the budget to cover all of it
Okay.
without hurting us.
Oh, so all your radios are mobile,
Right,
mobile,
right.
they're not
They're not portable, nothing, we don't have anything handheld. We've got a couple of cheap $50 7 handheld,
Walkie-talkies.
yeah, basically walkie-talkies.
Have you felt the need to have portable?
We had flaggers working with us last summer, and a lot of times we kept our mobile walkie-talkie radios tuned into their channels.
Yep.
So we could communicate with them. It was very handy. That way they knew when they could let the traffic go. We knew when they were gonna let traffic go. We didn't have to have any conflict as to
You
all
think,
of
you
that.
don't think we ought to just go ahead and just bite the bullet, get the 3 portables?
Yeah.
And I don't wanna, make it easier to, you know,
What is, Rick, what does the department say?
We prefer the portables. Like I said, it worked out real well being able to communicate with the flaggers. and knowing what was going on with them. A lot of times when you're working in the street, you've got flaggers, you don't know what they're gonna do. You can't hear their conversation, and you know, you're relying on hand signals or some other form of communication. Usually it's hollering.
Hey. Alright, so what's this one here for the Viking? Remove transmission mounted pump and PTO to install electric clutch
The
pump.
280, you wanna just go with the 3?
What do you think, John? 3 affordable, John?
Me
Junior?
personally, yeah, absolutely.
John.
That was my mom carried on.
So, alright, so 3 portables for this.
Okay, Viking surveys. The Terrastar. At the time that we purchased that truck, the only option was to mount the hydraulic pump on the transmission. It's an Allison automatic. It's a very expensive transmission to replace. The clearances between the pump and the floorboards on that truck are very close. At times you can hear it rattling off the floor. And it's probably not the best situation having it mounted to the pump, to the transmission. They do make a new setup where you can literally mount it on the motor. And the other benefit of putting it on the motor, besides getting it off of the transmission, is when this truck is in gear and stopped, that pump is also stopped. So you literally have to put it in neutral or park to be able to utilize your hydraulics on the truck, running the plow, the lane, the sander. It gets a little busy operating it when you're plowing. So we feel that putting that on the motor is probably better all around. It'd make it easier to operate, and it'd probably help out the transmission and not put as much of a strain on that.
At one time, we had 3 trucks. We purchased one but did not retire it, so now we have 4. If that's so, is the Terrastar the oldest? And
No.
what's the-
There's a 2003.
Okay, so Terrastar is not near
And we
retirement.
did purchase 2 trucks, and we did retire 2 trucks. We purchased the new 2016 International, which replaced the 95,
Okay.
and the F-250 stayed in the fleet, but we got rid of the 550 for it at the same time.
How much is that change at?
3,000. It's,
It is a pain, I mean, I've done a lot of plowing.
you've
and
been
a lot
in these
of it
trucks, you
without
can
the large
understand what I'm
PTO,
saying.
plus a lot more room for error, fatigue, everything. I mean, I don't
So,
know how you'd plow with it
Well,
like that, to be honest with you.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
so why is that an issue now? How come that wasn't done this way back when it was purchased?
There wasn't an option. They have since come up with a design where they can mount it on the motor now. The Ford 550, that's the way it was when that truck was assembled. But,
Plus it must cut the sander off too, right?
oh yeah. Yes.
So yeah, the sand,
So as you slow down,
Distribution
your
would
pump
be-
just slows right down slowly to the point where it doesn't work. In Rick's, in my mind, the biggest benefit is getting it off the transmission. That's probably a $12,000 transmission if it goes. That's not cheap Viking to replace.
I'd like to make sure this is covered in the budget. Until tonight or not, but I'm looking at the bills kind of mounting up. Is it all within our budget?
Rick feels that he's got enough money. I think some of this will be coming out of capital improvement. He's got equipment repair lines.
We don't have a budget for this.
No, we don't.
All right.
I think we'll avoid that, then we do the department head, I think that's current, once we look at it.
I just printed it to my office. I really have one.
Can we get it?
Yeah, we'll go get it.
Yeah. But I don't want just willy-nilly make a decision and we'll spend the
What
money.
year's that truck in?
Ed,
What year's that truck?
2012.
Wow, I can't believe they even made anything like that.
It's a poor design, but at the time, they didn't have any other options.
I just hate dumping money into a brand new vehicle. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you know. But at the same token, I mean, you know, the longevity of saving something, yeah, I mean, you kind of spends out 3 to save 12, eventually 12,000, I mean, you need to do it,
Ed, do
unfortunately.
they even put them on the transmissions now still?
Kind of maintenance.
I can't even.
So
No,
that's
when they sell
probably
them
why-
nowadays, they use
Plow
the
the little
motorized.
trucks
So
like
it's
that.
just, so this is probably why they changed the
it's
design.
I think that's one of the reasons, plus, you know, like I said, it stops the pump when you stop the vehicle.
Right.
Yes, the only good thing is, this truck is at this point where you can do a change to it, and not stuck with something that could be
Right.
costing us more money.
Yeah, I think it's worth the money invested in.
Yeah.
2,900?
He's got 13,900 still in his vehicle repair line.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one will come out of that one.
So that's that one, then the radios and stuff like that, you said they can get that covered under that other.
I'm thinking that might come out of the block grant money. I'm not sure exactly where.
Okay.
Do you have that one?
Before you order the radios, let's talk about emergency management. We got some radios before through a grant
Yes.
for the,
PD said that they had some, but we haven't seen anything
who said that?
as of yet, the PD.
Okay,
I don't know what condition they're in, if they're worth.
okay.
So Laura just said that we had, in the block grant, there's $50,000 in there. We haven't touched that yet, so that could be done.
Before we order the radios, let's see what's available either from the PD or from my work as emergency management.
Okay. And the last one is Gav Tech.
Yeah. Okay, so all the work on the pumps upgrading to the monitoring system has all been done.
Okay.
Going into this, we knew there would be some extra cost.
Yeah.
Didn't realize it would be as much as it was.
So what is the total?
The total,
4,000, I'm reading this right? No. Some subtraction here.
the total was, for the extras, was $4,236. Again, we expected couple thousand maybe. Made a phone call to them. Told them that we thought it was a little high. And after a few phone calls and back and forth, we managed to get the bill down to $2,500, which is probably reasonable. There was a couple of things, we put conduit in. When we did it, we didn't realize it, nobody said it, we went plastic all the way.
Had to be explosion proof.
Yes, so you had to have steel on the end.
So it's about 4 times as much money.
Yeah, that stuff is outrageously expensive.
Which pumps are these?
The gas and diesel pumps that we have across.
Oh, okay, so it's not the trucks, it's the
No.
pumps, okay, gotcha.
That's just part of the continuous upgrade of that.
Right,
But
Right. They had to reconfigure some of the conduits within the building itself. But between all of the back and forth, like I said, we managed to get a little over 1,700 knocked off that bill, got it down to 2,500. I think that made it more reasonable.
and I think that money's coming out of the block grant as well, that update that.
That,
So.
I believe,
I'm
and
sorry.
you probably know this, the money for all of that, was that split up proportionately between the highway, school, and fire? How do we do it?
The whole 12,000 came out of wherever Rick told me to take it out of,
Okay.
but it wasn't divvied up at all.
we don't have a choice. In order to get the pumps certified and so forth, this is part of the deal.
Well, keeping everything up to grade, I mean,
Yeah.
we've been lucky, the state hasn't been back to push us on a lot of things, but we basically met all the requirements that they've had. I think the only thing left that we haven't done is, there's gotta be some type of pad put out in front of the pumps.
All the training's been done?
That's the only thing that we haven't done to get everything online. And, that is through, Geo Insight, I think. The engineering company, not GAP so. And I believe Rick has put a phone call into them already to get that scheduled. They'll come do the initial training. After that, we can do in-house training.
So when we do the initial training, we have school department,
School department,
Fire
highway
department.
any fire and emergency personnel that can be there.
not just how to utilize it, but how, in case of emergency.
Well, a lot of it is, you know, number one, to get them how to use the whole system, but number two is knowing the proper protocols if there's a spill. That's probably the more important part of it. And that's basically what Geo Insight is concerned with. They don't care about running the pumps. We just, and the state doesn't either. It's more about knowing what to do if there is a spill
Okay.
and being able to get it cleaned up.
So before they come in like that, it's gonna be put out to everybody's gonna be involved in it to have a.
Anybody that wants to use them pumps has to take that training.
Okay,
And if they don't wanna be near it.
okay, that's cool.
And the big thing about that is Rick's name is in that plan, my name's in that plan, and ultimately you three. So if anything happens, we're the ones that gotta answer for it, not the one using it.
No, that's fine, we'll just make sure that protocols are in there and they're being adhered to.
And if we, and the good thing about this, if we follow all the protocols and meet all the requirements of the state, if there is a spill, and we've done everything we can right, cleanup will not cost us anything. If we don't follow the regulations and we have a spill, it's our dime. So, for that simple reason, I think it's well worth the investment.
Absolutely. So. Dave, you have a question?
If we do it certified, everyone's done their classes, you said we're covered for any sort of spill?
Say that again?
Are we covered for any sort of spill?
Are we covered?
Yeah,
Yeah, we won't have to pay anything.
because that could get quite expensive.
The money to cover all that through the state comes, I believe, from gas tax. They have a fund.
If proper protocol is
If
being
everything is
followed.
followed correctly, they'll cover the cost.
Because if that hits a stream.
Oh, it could be, yeah. You heard of, you had a
How many
municipal-
gallons over there?
There's 2023, 22, somewhere around there. Because you have to include your waste oil, which is out there. We have to do, the building has been certified as well, because your hydraulic oil, any gasoline that you keep inside, diesel fuel, anything.
And it's just good in them. You wouldn't want a big spill, you know, you want people trained on
Right.
how to
right.
do it and have all the proper stuff.
No, it's unfortunate, we've got a lot of years of not, of getting by with stuff like that, and unfortunately, in this day and age with the liability like that, we can't afford to take the risk on it. Now we're at the spot of fixing things the right way and maintaining it the
that-
right way, so.
Quite a few years ago, I think this was 20 years plus, I believe there was a spill, because there were monitoring wells over there. That has all since been cleaned up. There's no issues with that.
I know back when these guys were sledding and stuff like that, so all this stuff was started back then.
Yeah,
At
we
some
had to
point,
put
so-
in, we had to put in all kinds of different stuff.
Well, back then, the codes were different, the containment was the biggest thing,
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
And they didn't really have a lot of training about anything, you
I
know,
mean,
so.
we spent several $100s on cleanup materials, spill materials.
Well, they have a lot better stuff now also.
Yeah, you know, you gotta have special kits out there available, all kinds of stuff. But it's to the benefit of the town if something does happen.
Anything else, Ed?
There is a little bit of an issue with waste management. They've got a
A little?
automatic pickup truck that actually grabs the trash barrels and picks them up automatically. That thing needs to go away. plain and simple, because if the barrels are too far off the road, that guy literally has to drive off the edge of the pavement. And one of the number one rules for waste management when they come into town is they need to keep their trucks on the road and not be driving off at the different driveways. Mainly in the springtime when the roads are posted, we can't stop them, but we don't want them driving off the edge of the road and breaking it up all the time.
I never knew them to have the army
Me
comes up and
neither.
grabs a bucket, they always had a
Yeah,
guy.
it's been around lately.
To do what?
It's
Those
Oh, I've
You don't
seen
know
them.
they're-
Rochester must have had it.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah,
don't you have to have
Rochester.
special garbage
Yeah.
cans?
Yeah, the garbage container itself
yeah.
was specially made
Is
for
it
that.
the waste management garbage
Oh,
container,
yeah.
the big ones, or
Right,
just the
yeah.
regular garbage?
I mean,
I'm
I
not
don't know.
sure, I think it can get any one of them, I'm not positive.
Well, maybe now,
But
but
the
I
problem
know
is it only has so much reach
Right.
out.
they're nice garbage cans, big, heavy, but
Right.
they have a thing that.
They're molded so that.
That
And
arm
they-
hooks to
You
and,
literally reach out, grab it, and pick it up.
And the top stays
I've
attached
never
and
seen
flops
one
out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ordinary garbage can, that top is secured.
I've never seen one in town.
I
Going the
have.
first time
Oh,
you use
yeah.
it.
It's been around a few
Yeah.
times.
Oh.
With the can on the lid?
And they use the arm?
Well, I think, was it just last week? Or was it before that, because
Before.
okay, I was just
Well,
gonna say,
we've
because
seen
last
it
week was,
running around.
we already talked about last week, it's pretty unusual.
Well, I know it's
I
totally,
I think it's just
because
so
I used
resource
to
to get
knock them
done.
over all the time plowing because they have to be so close to the road that, when you're plowing, there's no way, so you're knocking those things right over and then.
No, you just moving them out of the way.
No, he's knocking over along with the
Yeah.
mailbox.
I don't have a very good attitude when it comes to that stuff.
I don't know a plow truck driver that does.
No.
Well, we can reach out to
You
Base
gotta
Management and ask them why they're bringing that up there, because we don't really have a use for it here.
Yeah, that thing should be in town. They're basically designed for in the cities where you do have a
Rear
curbing
sidewalk.
Yeah.
and sidewalks, and the trash barrels are literally between the sidewalk and the curb.
Other
Where
than,
they can't,
right. I just, it's gotta be some type of thing, but they need an extra prop, and that's what they utilize, the only thing I
I
ever, because
think-
Yeah.
I've never seen that around, I've always seen the guy riding the side
Yeah.
dumping them, so.
and
Well, we can
I
find out
do,
why.
I do know a gentleman that works for Waste Management. He's in the management part, not with residential, but he did say that they did have some, issues with some of their trucks, which held them up a little bit here. And that it was just way more than they ever expected for trash out there. So,
Can you, kinda speak to the Bolster Road situation?
as far as,
Maybe time frame on posting, whatever? I've already talked about that, but.
hopefully all the signs will be down at the end of this week at the latest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they come down sooner. But with the rain that we got this past weekend, that's the main reason they stayed up.
What's the end of the week? Is it Thursday, is it Friday, is it the end of Friday?
They will come down sometime Thursday, I believe. Don't hold me to this one.
Well,
I don't make the decision on it, but I can only tell you what I've been told. But,
I can't believe these guys are complaining. Usually it's me.
No, we got a lot of people who have projects that need to have.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people, I got
I
people
don't-
calling all the time.
For the last
about gravel
15
and
years of
stuff,
us
so,
paying over $200,000 a year to have these roads taken care of,
Yeah.
a couple of people swap because they want to get the project started, I don't care. I mean,
You
honestly,
guys
I
pay
feel
for
bad
it.
for people, but you know, every year this stuff happens, so, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see us ruining roads that
you know, the
we spend big
thing
money
is,
on
a lot of
just for
people
couple
don't think about it, but it's not only just a matter of the snow and the water going, but literally when the road freezes, everything heaves, you gotta give it a chance to settle back down as well.
New
And
Durham's
that-
still posted, cause Keith, AAA, is waiting for gravel, that I didn't get him in the fall, I was too busy. And, his road's still posted, dirt roads.
Yeah, I got a load that I gotta deliver in town too, but again, the road's posted, so
Okay,
it's going great.
that's satisfied.
well, yeah, just, you know, I have people calling, and
Thank you.
some people are waiting. There's a difference between Thursday morning and Friday afternoon, it pushes it into the next week. I
Yeah,
don't know how you're gonna address with, when people call between now and Thursday.
usually if they're gonna come down Thursday, we'll tell them they're good to go Friday morning.
Okay.
If they come Wednesday, will they be good to go Thursday morning?
Not if the signs are up.
So what do we tell the screaming guy that keeps coming in? That's what we want.
Oh, so they have a screen?
Numerous.
The same, but
Same
I
way.
gotta call
And,
this
um,
gentleman back, so what would you like me to tell him? To give you your number?
That'd be the
Cell
gentleman
phone?
who lives over here on Ridge Road. calling
I don't know
about-
where
I
he
don't know where he
lives.
lives.
Yes, no, yeah,
No.
pheasant, maybe partridge,
I believe it's pheasant.
I
okay.
got 7
What do you want me to
loads
tell
all in
him?
there.
I believe there's a note on Rick's desk to call him. He was in the other day, last Thursday.
And he promised not to go down Partridge, he'll promise to go to Drew. And I said, roads are posted, talk to the highway.
But he has a delivery coming Thursday, just so you know.
No, we don't.
No, he does he not?
Oh, no, we
You didn't
don't.
misunderstand?
No, he says that all the forms are in place and he'd like to have the trucks. The trucks will not be parked on the road, they'll be parked in his driveway. I
Well,
said,
Have to go
I
over
said,
it.
It's
however,
coming Thursday.
and I said, however, you still have to go over the roads.
Right.
First, if it's the lot that I'm thinking of, first and foremost, there is no driveway. Basically, you drive off the edge of the road through the ditch onto
Mhm.
a loamy mess that they were supposed to put crushed gravel in. And
I used to tell them, hey, I'm here from 7 to 3. I get paid the same amount of money every week. If I could make you happy, I'll go home happier. But I can't wreck the road, or I can't haul you a load of gravel because your neighbor will want it. You know what I mean? But I'm sorry. Some people are just unreasonable. Myself being
his
one of them
contract-
sometimes, you know,
It's
but
delivery.
He
it's,
states his
you can't wreck
contractor
the
can't
road to,
come back until at least July.
how much money we spend on
And I told
roads?
him I feel for him, however, I feel for the roads also, which are more important.
Well, I mean, they're your roads. You people pay a premium,
We have paid, like I said earlier,
you know, per
Past
capita.
15
I would
years,
say
over
you guys
200,000
probably
each year.
pay
That's
more
We've
than
had
lot
a
of
week
town.
of soaking
I don't
rain,
even live on a town road.
you know? Hey, I do it for a living. Nobody wants to see those signs like I said, I got 7 loads to haul on pheasant that just can't do it. You can't, you know.
It's a pain in the, you know what, but-
If you can ask Brett to give him a call tomorrow, it would be greatly appreciated.
Give him the $1 million Ed. Hey, Ed Brent,
I talked to him the other
come on
day.
down, I'll buy you coffee. We're gonna have
Like I
Dunkin'
told him,
Donuts, I'll
it's his
explain it
money.
to you.
that
We need
He's
to try
invested
storing
in
that
these
rent when you
roads.
see them coming.
He said you'd get a permit if we will.
We could bond the road.
We're gonna try to establish a new road posted ordinance, and there will be a permit process in place, but you know how it was when we worked in Rochester, it's gonna be cold.
Yeah.
It'll be below freezing. You know, It isn't. That's not gonna fly.
alright.
So we're gonna let Rick call him?
I was gonna.
He's the one, he's the
Somebody's
one,
gotta
Rick's
call
gonna make the
this
final
gentleman.
decision, so let Rick know, tell the gentleman. they
I was gonna
you
see
know.
Rick tomorrow
So-
morning and follow up, and then find out when he was planning on it, and either Rick or myself will give him a call and let him know. But I did promise that I would get back to him.
Yeah, especially if he's got a delivery Thursday and the cops pull the trucks over and say you're on posted roads.
But somebody needs to call him so he's not coming back here.
I mean, he wasn't a jerk about it, saying, I'm doing it on Thursday. He asked that Thursday was the day
Well,
that
if
it
it's the
was
same
taken.
gentleman, I mean, he's got legitimate reasons why he'd like to see it happen. And I kinda feel for him, but.
I feel for everyone too, but it's not like you're waiting for a washing machine or a dryer. But you know the roads are posted.
Oh,
It's
it's only 2
happening.
more days.
I would need a washer or dryer, what are you saying? It would be crucial.
I know what you mean.
Alright,
So, another one, we wanna get some of the plows repaired and painted. The paint's chipped up pretty good on it, worn off in a few spots that it shouldn't be. We did get a quote. There's a considerable amount of repair work that we wanna do to a couple of plow frames and plows. Hopefully this will keep them tight, make them last a lot longer, make all the rest of the parts last. We got a quote from Paul Taylor, not to exceed 10,000.
Hey, is this something I can weld? Me and Cole, cause I'm thinking like 7. And Paul's a buddy of mine, but
I think you know.
I just saved you $3,000.
How about 5?
Something like that. Put it out to bid.
Honestly, I
No
thought
way, I mean,
that
that's a lot of
just
money.
left it a little, I don't know. I don't know if I see $10,000 worth of work.
you can't fix them, Ed?
Time. We've got too much other stuff, the welding and stuff. It's probably the better part of a week, maybe.
You don't want no overtime this summer? It's gotta be cheaper to pay you overtime to fix plows than it is to pay 10,000.
Well, I make better money running my backhoe.
This is true. Tis the season, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, if I didn't have nothing to do, the overtime would be great, but
No, I think it should be put out to bid if we're gonna do something like that.
Well,
I mean, we've got some other projects that we wanna get done that we don't want to put out to bid. So, and that will probably involve some overtime too, but hopefully not too much. Trying to keep everything within a 40-hour work week for us, as far as the sun's concerned. We worked enough last winter. I don't think anybody wants any overtime here than last winter, so. And the only other thing is the road work. Planning on rebuilding Allen Way, Shore Drive. Overlay work might be on Sunrise, Lake Shore, and possibly some of Pinkham. That should take care of us on that side of town for several years. After that, our direction is Ridge Road, which will take a few years probably to get through that. New Portsmouth Road Hill is getting pretty rough as well.
Yeah, it's keeping those guys from hot rodding up and down, and I love it.
You gotta go slow. It's hard on my body though in the wintertime.
Yeah, plowing
you,
must
Ed.
be a bugger.
Alright, so the next thing we have basically is the preambulation with Brooklyn.
okay.
I thought you were gonna finish trash again.
Oh, we
Are you
go,
going back there?
we gotta go back to trash, but
Does John have something?
John's gonna have something, after we do the
Have you got
preambulation.
enough time? I know we have another meeting to go to.
No.
Okay.
Okay,
Alright, you wanna talk about perambulation?
sure.
You wanna talk about trash?
Let's go to preambulation and then we can circle back to the trash thing if we need to. So,
I've been in touch with one of the selectmen in Brookfield. Would like to talk with Middleton about a perambulation between the two towns. I'm guessing sooner than later, and not in terms of time, but black flies, mosquitoes. I did allow us how we had a couple of resident experts, one there and one here. To that end, selectmen have been invited to go to the Brookfield Selectmen's meeting tomorrow evening at 6:30 to discuss this further, so.
And you gotta walk Moose Mountain,
Oh,
that's the dividing line.
Yeah. Dave, is this something
Like
you
this,
might be
and
interested in?
I'm looking at my schedule.
Mr. Mullen, you said you would do it?
No.
I did one already. It's training season, take your bow with you and then look at your.
well, the biggest thing is as well, I mean, this is spring of the year, what do you got in the mountains? Black bears, cubs,
Ticks. That's
Ticks.
right, yeah.
no.
I've been hunting,
So,
plenty of ticks.
I can tell you, I mean, I'd rather do it sooner than later, so.
I think we're one of 3 states that still does that antiquated system.
Yeah. And apparently there was a move afoot to get rid of it, and that move was defeated.
Again,
Yeah.
again.
What's the 3 states?
What the hell, what's it done up at the state house?
It's not accurate. It's hard on the body, let me tell you.
I can guarantee you, it's getting more accurate every time it goes, because of what we're doing.
That
I
one,
can
that
tell
one's
you
gonna be
what.
rough. I looked at the top map.
It's,
Oh, yeah. It's not a straight, well, it's 20, 30 straight lines.
The sawtooth.
that's just, it's,
Sawtooth
yeah, it's
is
a
hard.
sawtooth, but it's not that, just that, it's climbing the mountains and the elevations up and down as well to get to those sawtooths. But,
Have
hey,
you ever,
yeah.
have you ever thought about having a surveyor do it? I think you can.
Yeah.
It could be
Expensive.
costly, I don't know.
Well, that's the whole thing, I mean, I didn't wanna spend $15,000 for a survey, if I can sit and go do a walk, and they do it.
Just better have dispatch ready.
I don't think you can get it done for that.
I just went number, I think it'd be a lot more than that too, that would be one hell of a survey.
property lines.
I know
So
how much
better
it
have
costs to have
Laura
my
ambulance
survey.
on one road and
Make it
another
the
one on another
whole
road.
shot across the
And,
town.
and, and make sure that the air guard medivac
That's
is
gonna
ready
be a
to come
nightmare.
get somebody.
And a lot of
I'd
hard,
be 50.
So anyhow, I mean, we'll go to the meeting tomorrow night,
Well,
but there's another situation.
Yeah.
15.
Oh, yeah.
This pertains to you, John. I would, since I made the contact with Brookfield, I'd like to go to the meeting. I'd like Joe to go if he's available, because he's done this walking. I don't know if you're available, Dave.
Slight case of work.
Okay, well, but might you be interested in the future?
Yeah,
Okay.
I go to work tomorrow, but if
But
you want
just-
to do the hike, throw down the 16th, 17th, and 18th that I can do.
Okay, I don't know if they're ready for a date, just so I know if I'm going to do it. But,
Or the 30th, 31st, and 1st.
is that long enough that you might need a backpack and sleeping bag?
Maybe,
Bring a dog.
I'm going
Is
to
is this a requirement that you guys get it done?
Every 7
State
years.
law.
Are
And
these actual trails or?
That's good, that's
I'm
good.
making a joke, I'm making a joke.
You're not funny.
so you don't put any markers or
They have
anything?
markers out there.
Oh,
We
you
have
do?
to locate the markers and agree among the two towns that that's the marker.
That's what I was wondering.
And some of the
It must be
markers are as bad as big rock on laying against old oak tree. Now, there are some concrete markers out there, but there's also large oak tree by brook.
The may have fallen down, is no longer
May have
there.
fallen down or whatever, so then the two towns have to agree that that's the spot and they mark it.
And John, it's worse than that. Your GPS could say, there's a cement marker inside of this area, but there's been 7 or 8 years worth of leaves falling on it.
Right.
How are you gonna find it?
yeah.
Okay, I mean, how many leaves can you kick aside in a space the size of this room? Okay?
So when Dave goes, his biggest thing, he has to bring a rake.
Now,
I'll bring in a couple of cans of spray paint.
if you guys wanna carry some rebar up there and hammer it into the ground, next time you have to
Sure,
do this,
Joe,
I'll
go
look
ahead.
for.
Tell me I gotta lug in 15 lengths of rebar.
I'll lend you our metal detector.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's bringing that?
Joe the mule.
Joe the Mule.
Joe the ass.
For you, John, I have 2 places to be at
Those are
once
all the
tomorrow
points
evening.
from last one.
Besides the meeting in
Facing that way
Brookfield,
along the line there.
there is the continuing zoning board of adjustment meeting in New Durham regarding the gravel pit
I couldn't
on the
go
border
vertical.
between New Durham and Wolfboro. At the last meeting, I spoke on behalf of the town, but not everybody had a chance to speak. If you're interested in attending, you're more than welcome to. If you have other commitments, that's fine. Okay?
I'll do either one, anyone that you didn't.
All right, and I'll talk with you about
Okay.
what time the meeting is and so forth. But I've already spoken, so it's more of if they had a question of us, okay? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we're gonna do, any more topics about the bulk thing? I doubt we all set with that?
We're all set.
Okay. Mr. Mullins.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to come tonight to kind of give you an update on the Old Town Hall project and how we're coming along and some of the areas that we're, where we're going and some of the needs. So I presented a letter to you selectmen, kind of outline what I'm gonna say here. The project is progressing pretty good. Most of the work that's being done right now, the major work, is the electrical work. It's not as fast as I had hoped that it would be done. Fortunately, we're not under any gun to get it done right away, but I've been assured by the electrical contractor that I've been calling it now phase 1, because he's got to come back and do some other things. But the wiring, all the old wiring has been removed. The only thing that's really left are some stringing, some outlets in the main hall and the library. And most of the wires are there. They have to go underneath and do that. and then relocating the panels. That's a lot of work. He has promised me that he will be in one day this week and then all of next week till it's done. Phase one. Now, phase two would be installing the plugs and the switches and the fixtures, and we still have to pick out fixtures, and I'll get into that in a minute. Let me go down what has occurred since the town meeting so we have an idea. A matter of fact, all the work that does occur has been inside. So it's difficult sometimes to see the progress. You can see that there's a truck there, there's not a truck there, but it is moving along. I mentioned the electrical work. He expects to be completed around the 19th. I put a date out to June 1st just in case he runs into something with the panels. He also has to provide us with some pricing on some additional work that we had requested, lights in the crawl space, another plug for the sump pump, the electrical for the air conditioning, to resolve the kitchen light situation that there was some miscommunication on what to do there, so we'll correct that when we get there. The water lines that froze during the winter because the heat went out, because the sump pump went out, have been all repaired and checked. Everything, all the water is working. The only thing that isn't working is the hot water tank because there's no electricity to it. But the faucet in the sink was failing. He asked me what to do with it. I said, put the cheapest faucet you can find in there. It's in, the water's running, everything is fine. He checked all the PEX tubing all the way from the pump all the way through, because we're going to close up the walls in the kitchen here shortly.
And I know the other day there's like 12 different leaks from that furnace going out that he repaired.
Did you see those on the counter?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were.
About 12 of them.
Most of them were 90s, which is typical, right?
Yeah.
Typical.
Yeah.
That's the thinnest part of a piece of copper. But there were some copper pipe that actually split. That's a lot of freezing. The PEX tubing, that's a lot of hard freezing too, but that's all been changed. What we will be doing, the piping runs from the utility closet up along the ceiling and then into the kitchen. And we're going to put that, we're going to enclose that into a chase, but we're going to put insulation on the top of the PEX tubing and back around the back. And then we'll have vents in the chases so that the heat can just naturally rise up in there, so we don't anticipate any freezing in the future. Eddie Badger said he could install a sump pump. He hasn't given me a price on that, but what he suggested was that he have that pump drain go into the existing drain pipe. Otherwise you'd have to put another drain out and dig another trench to go out. And he said he could put a check valve in there. I said, how would that, if both went at the same time, how would that affect the flow? He said it might diminish it a little bit, but should be okay. That's what he's saying. So we can't get in there because there's water in that crawl space into the kitchen. And I will talk to Rick tomorrow to see if in their time they can get a pump over there to pump it out.
We'll pump it out, but we gotta know when they're gonna be there to work, cause.
Well,
it'll just
if
go
you
back
pump it
up.
out, I think it's gonna fill up again.
So
I would like it
time
drawn.
with
I
when
know-
they're gonna do the work.
Well, we need to get it drawn down to see what we got first to get in there. I think it's gonna come right back. Because when we dug where the bulkhead is, they went pretty deep, so I think we hit some pump on the other, underneath the main hall is running fine, we haven't got a problem.
Excuse me, John, you mentioned the check valve, for what?
In case, if you're running two sump pumps into a line, okay, and this one isn't running over here, and this one it could go back and down.
Okay.
So you want a check valve, actually a check valve on both lines, so that it won't flow back into one that isn't running. So in other words, you won't pump it
Yeah, I understand that, but is that check valve in a line that's subject to freezing? If so, the line will fill up with water, won't drain back on its
Well,
own, and it'll
we
freeze.
should put it, well, that's a point I should ask. I mean, the other alternative is not to do it or run a new pipe and a new trench.
Okay.
And that's
I don't
mainly,
think you'll have any freezing under there, where they're talking about this. And once you get into an area where it will freeze, I believe it's all gravity from there.
I'll ask them that question. That's a good point, though.
Does it free flow outside to the ground?
It's, once it gets up from the pump, it's sloped because it does slope out behind the fire station.
Then what? Does it go into a dry well, or does it go?
No,
into
it just
the ground?
goes down the ditch, just goes out in the
Okay.
ditch behind the fire department. I will ask them
Okay,
about that.
thank you.
That's a good question. The bathrooms, the 2 new bathrooms, they're wired, all set to go. Inspector came by to prove that. And I just ordered the sheet rock for that. John Mamone, Lester, and myself are gonna put the sheet rock up and tape it. And then the bathrooms will be ready for the rest of the stuff, and I'll get into that. The ceilings in the bathroom are pretty much done except for one spot. Done meaning they're prepped, sanded, patched, ready to be primed and painted. The only thing that has to be put in the ceilings is the fans, exhaust fans. Sheet rock will be installed in the next 2 weeks. We have a flooring quote for the bathrooms to do both floors from Brian Flooring for under $500, just about $500 for both of them, material and labor. The hallway, which now I used to call it the pass-through, now I call it the hallway. I am working to clean that up, which means I'm up in the ceiling, patching holes where wires were, where fixtures are. It's coming along pretty good. So that should be ready by the end of the month to prime. And everything will be ready to prime because we're going to paint everything in there. There's an interesting thing, if you recall where the chimney was. There was a piece of metal that went up. I think that was there either to protect the stove at one time. I took it off. And underneath there is beadboard, except there's some pieces missing that are cracked out. But I took the beadboard, I was able to slip it out without destroying it. And I have a picture, and I sent it to Cheryl, and she put it on the website. It's one of the posts inside, the chimney is boxed in, and inside is a post, is a small tree limb with one of the limbs sticking out, cut off. So I took a pic, I thought it was pretty
Shades of
fast.
Milton.
Yeah, shades of Milton.
No, we did a basement where you go down there and the bark is still on the beams and.
Well, that's not good,
and
'cause that
there's-
doesn't, yeah, well, I haven't been in the crawl space, I don't even wanna know what's in there, and then,
Turn of the century.
and the other thing. Let's see here, the kitchen cabinet, or the hallway cabinets.
Turn of the century, about 1901.
Those are kind of a hodgepodge of cabinets, and my intent was to replace those with standard depth cabinets all the way across. It's about a 12-foot space. Before I've done that, though, I've talked to Steve Bedard, who is the contractor, and asked, could we do that? And he said, is there any beadboard in there that is similar to the hall? There is. On half of the cabinets, the doors are made of that heavy beadboard. He said you should keep those. I don't think we should. I think we should replace with period type cabinets, and I volunteered to have the cabinets there. I'll donate the cabinets and put them across the same, just like kitchen, they're not gonna be kitchen cabinets, but they'll be just right straight across. And I think we can do them in a manner that will be in keeping with the rest of the beadboard stuff. But I have to talk to him more about that. So that's still on
Are you thinking of buying them or
No,
making them?
no, I can make it.
Okay. Question. Steve Bernard says this. You and perhaps Cheryl say this. Who has the final say?
Steve is advising us based on the historical restoration. That's where he's coming from. That doesn't mean, look, that building has, what they're trying to do with the building and the restoration is keep it as it was.
You're right.
Now, we've done a lot of things to that. We've added a new furnace. We've ripped out all the electrical. We have post and beam out of steel in there holding up the, okay, so it's a matter of interpretation.
Yes,
I'm
it
just
is.
letting you know where it's coming from, who has the say. It's L-Chip would probably have a final say. And I think they need to be changed because it would be far more efficient and better looking and that's my opinion. And there's only 2 doors that are of the beadboard.
And if you're making them, can you make all the doors out of?
Don't have enough material of the beadboard.
It's new stuff.
No, you can't find new stuff. That's the problem with all that beadboard. The beadboard where there are some really, for example, in the library, some of that beadboard is 3/4 inch thick, double and triple bead, or single bead, which is 3/8 an inch thick. That's hard to find if you can find it at all.
Yeah.
So we have to figure out how, where there's some electrical boxes that were there, I can fix we can just patch, and the intent is to clean all that up and restain it. You were gonna, yeah.
Is he suggesting keeping them doors for the door themselves, or is he suggesting that for the wood to be able to use in another place?
Because of the nature of the bead, the board is, it's for the board, it's not to save the wood, but to save the beadboard look.
The
So
aesthetics.
basically to save the doors, not just to keep the wood to use
I mean, you
somewhere
can
else.
take the doors off. Those cabinets down there are a mess. Also, I need some of the material behind the cabinets that nobody will ever see to do some of the repairs.
So that's what I was wondering, if he was suggesting keeping the doors. So
Well,
that you use
there's
the wood
not enough
elsewhere.
material to make enough doors to go all the way across, because those doors only go halfway across.
Right, but
And
the
they're
big-
like a 30, they're about 30-inch deep cabinet. Then the cabinet goes in like this, and it's about, I don't know, 12, 15 inches this way, and it's shiplap from Middleton Building Supply.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do is make four 36-inch cabinets with to make them have beadboard in the panels and so forth and so on. I think it would be, I mean, that whole room is brand new room, for God's sakes.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's.
You wanna maintain the aesthetic, but you also wanna make it a functional room.
Well, you wanna make it a functional room, and if you can save material, you save material. Every piece of wood that I or any of the contractors has taken off, and I've instructed the electrical contractor, even if it's lath, do not throw it out. Put it in a pile, we can reclaim it and use it someplace else, and that's what we're trying to do. So, okay, I'll work on that, I don't think it's a big deal. Dead River, the heating contractor, to hook up the 2 bathrooms and do a couple other things we talked about. They will be up Thursday between 10 and 11 to look at the place, to figure out what they need to do. There's a couple things that we asked them to do. First of all, they have to finish the contract by putting in the 2 heat ducts. All the material is there. It's all there. They just need to get somebody in there and do it. Number 2, they need to fix the evaporator drain, is that what you call that? Condensation drain, because that's what stopped the furnace before. The water got off the condensation drain when it feels, it's like if you have your furnace, a new high efficiency furnace in your house, and that thing plugs up, furnace stops. That's what happened, because the water got so high. I also am gonna have them check out the plenum. Initially, they told me shouldn't be a problem, that it's, you know, it's a metal plenum and none of the insulation, but they're gonna check that out. I also asked them to install the air conditioner as a gratuitous donation to the town. We'll see where that goes, so that hasn't been determined yet. Lighting fixtures, we have a design style concept. We haven't made any choices, they haven't got any specific part numbers or so forth. But on the things needed, I think we need to have a meeting of the stakeholders, maybe the Board of Selectmen, the Old Home Association, and others who want to participate to look at some various designs and make a decision on which way we want to. What we're going to try to do is have schoolhouse globes where these fixtures were, they're all going out. Also, there is some copper and metal piping that was pulled out when they put the PEC in. What do you want us to do with that? I can take that up to the metal yard up and get the money and just put it in, or what? It's 3/4 inch mostly, some 1/2 inch. Not gonna be a lot of money. I was told it's $1.85 a pound for copper. I can do that.
Well, before you go, get up on the roof and take the copper off the side of the building, take that right along with it. So,
Well, that too.
you know,
That too.
but as far as that stuff, you're right, it's not worth hardly anything.
No.
I
But
took over
I'll
half
be-
time boiling stuff like the other day,
It'll probably,
everything, $23.
yeah, but I'll do it. Just get it out of there. I'll get it out of there. Okay, things that we need, or things that are needed. We need some additional fill to build up in the back of the building to bring the grade up a little higher so it slopes away, because right now it doesn't.
They just had that all scraped out because Bedard wanted it scraped out.
We need additional backfill to aid in the rain and the runoff, because it's level, it's actually sloping.
That's right up towards the building,
It's
correct?
sloping the other way. That will mitigate some of the possible water that might be getting into the foundation or the runoff. Like to have, and it's not scheduled yet, but down the road here early this summer, a public volunteer day to clean up the debris in the crawl space. And
No, I mean spiders.
well, there's stuff floating around in there. It can get into the sump pump. So my thought was to just spend a morning to clean it out and get some gravel and put it down where the sump pump is, so that it has somewhat.
Haul some gravel.
What's that?
I said I'll gladly haul some gravel.
Well, we got plenty of gravel, I think. Thank you, though. Also, I talked about a meeting of those interested in the style of fixtures in the hall itself. Also would like to have a meeting of those interested in paint colors for the bathroom, the hallway, finishes, that kind of stuff. I've already talked to an individual about what we should do in terms of type of paint on the ceiling, type of paint on the wall, how much prep should we do, how much priming it involves, what we should prime with. I'm having a gentleman come out on Wednesday to do a walkthrough to offer possible solutions. Also want a public volunteer day in the summer, probably, early summer, to prime and paint the hallway and the bathrooms, because by that time everything should be ready to paint. And then public volunteer day to install a trim and doors in the hallway. I mean, there's enough sufficient carpentry knowledge people who can do that, but I want to put that out. The total intent of what I'm trying to do over here on the project is try to get as much done in the building before August. Was it August that he said he would be here? Because the more we have done, the less we have to do when he buttons up. So hopefully, we should have the hallway, the bathrooms, and the library functional, except for maybe a new door in the library. The main hall, we can certainly do a lot of prep and priming of walls and ceilings that he won't be touching. His two big projects basically are, that I see, is to button up the main hall and work on the second staircase, get that resolved. That's the other thing. Upstairs, I haven't talked to Cheryl, but she will be in contact with the gentleman who did the restoration of the murals up there. I don't think, what Cheryl told me last time I talked to her is, you know, in terms of getting up there, it has to warm up a little bit before he doesn't have a lot to do. Then the staging can come down, and remember, the staging material is the town's. One other thing. We have some light fixtures over there that we've taken down. Some of them are, we have about, I don't know, 15 of these. And we might have 6 or 7 suspended ceiling fixtures. You and I talked a little bit on what to do with this, and Cheryl made the suggestion also that we offer those to the people in the town if they want them, first come, first serve. They're functional, the bulbs are there. We're not gonna have a need for them, because we're replacing all those fixtures with globes and to make it look more appealing. So that's all I have so far. I think we're moving along. I'd like to move faster with the electrical, but I understand. And anybody that wants, right now, all I'm doing over there is just prepping the walls and patching. And why am I doing that? Because I have time on my hands right now. I don't have anything up in Concord, and so it's fine.
Do you have a date on when you want to do a painting day, or?
No, I'd like to get closer to the finish. I'm gonna say sometime in June. It's not gonna be next couple weeks, no. Sometime in June. And I think we can knock that off in a good day, easy.
If you can give me a week to 10 days notice, I can get it in the newspaper for.
Okay? Certainly will do that. Any other questions?
Yeah, I've got a couple. You mentioned stakeholders, in fact, it's listed several times. Couple of cautions. The bigger the committee, the less work gets done.
Understand that.
And you mentioned Old Home Association. Yes, they certainly could have input like anyone else, but I would caution everyone, it's not their town hall. And if you and Cheryl wish to make a decision, it's your decision. The fact that they might say, we want this, it's not their town hall, it belongs to all of us.
I totally agree with you. I certainly, you know, people see me around there, and if they have some thoughts on those, I think we have a consensus among most of us in terms of the style of the light fixtures. I think we've come to that conclusion. I have my opinions on the paint color schemes, if you will. I've looked at photos and photos and photos of old New England meeting halls and what their colors look like. And I have some thoughts on that. But if somebody has input, the other thing that we would like to do, at least you and I talked about this a little bit, we have storage facilities that were the reason for those cabinets, to try to increase the volume of those cabinets they can accept. So we have sufficient storage for the various groups that use the town hall, the rec department, fire department. Those are, yeah, those type, and the town hall itself. So when I talk stakeholders, you know, if they have suggestions or inputs, that's fine. John, I totally agree. The more in committee, the longer it takes you. But I think we have a good sense of what the building should look like and what the people want the building to look like. So.
I certainly trust your judgment.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, that's it.
All right, anybody else have any questions for John? All right.
Thank you.
Anything else on the new business? Joanne?
Little old business, Sunrise Lake situation, how does that, is that resolved? The last meeting we had was about Sunrise Lake District, the money problem.
Oh, for the budget?
Yeah,
And
Thank you.
whatever, that's supposed to be the 21st of this month.
Yes.
So,
The Sunrise Lake Village District will have their annual meeting on the 13th, which is this Saturday, 9 o'clock here, open to the public. In order to vote on it, you have to be a member of the village district. Beyond that, there is a budget committee meeting further in May to
okay.
ratify everything we've done.
And the election situation, that's also,
at the last meeting, we ratified the vote.
okay.
The school,
And,
the school still has to do their thing, and they have a meeting on Wednesday the 10th.
Okay.
One other thing about the village district, for anybody that lives within the village district, the state of New Hampshire notes with dismay that the last hydrological and hydraulic